And at this speed, certainly, Compass is really comfortable. But there's no getting away from the fact that on some surfaces it feels very firm. There are 4 models in all, and this is the base model. A 2-wheel drive, driving just the front wheels, with the same 2.4 engine that the next 2 models get. But there is one thing that does make it a little bit less capable, let's just say. A 6-speed automatic instead of their 9-speed automatic. The other difference, of course, is that all of those models have all-wheel drive. Something this car really could do with. Now you can see on these bends, certainly at this speed, Compass is handling it very well. At lights, the front wheels do scramble a bit for traction, and the first gear is really low, so it feels incredibly nippy before it then runs out of puff. The exhaust note is not exactly what I'd call sporty either. It gets a lot of the things that the other models get. The interior is basically the same. It's quite hard wearing, and the top of the dash is actually quite soft. It looks hard, but it's soft. Same goes for the top of the doors. Then we get to the Uconnect system. That's what Fiat Chrysler calls their infotainment system. Very easy to use. And as you can see at the moment, I've got navigation displaying, but I could just as easily have my digital audio broadcast radio or my Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Both of those, of course, need cables. Thank you wouldn't have gone amiss. Motorcycle riders do like to get past. Even though this is only 60, they're going much faster. Down below we've got the climate controls with dual zones. There's some cup holders in the front console, and there's also some bottle holders in the doors. However, they're for very small bottles, because it does not hold my water bottle. That's got to sit on the front seat. Sound from the speakers, very good. The DAB is really crystal clear, and I'd show you what that's like, but YouTube will have a fit. Steering has a certain amount of feel. I wouldn't call it exactly super responsive. This is for someone that's budget conscious and just wants the space. Then we get to fuel consumption. I've only done a couple of 100 kilometers, and it's been roads much like this. A little bit of city work, a little bit of highway work, and I expected from a 2.4 4-cylinder petrol much better than 9.9 litres per 100 kilometers. That's, I think, pretty dreadful. All the other models, but the base model, have leather interiors. This one's got cloth and vinyl. That does make it a little bit longer wearing, in my view, and probably something I'd be happier about putting little snotties into. Horrible thought. The driver instruments are 2 conventional dials, one for speed, one for the engine revs, and in between is a large LCD screen, and you can choose what you want put in that. At the moment I've got the fuel use, but I can put that straight back to speed. So now I've got what speed I'm doing. There's no heads-up display in this either, so that's particularly important. That one's right in your field of vision. Now we're on an 80 km/h stretch of road, and I can see that it's now dropped back to 3rd. I can see up in the instruments exactly what gear I'm in. Interestingly, this 6-speed box doesn't go into 6th until we're on the highway. The highest it will go otherwise, up to around 85 km/h, is 5th. You can see this is still liking these corners very much. You can feel the body moving around a bit, but not unduly. Quite enjoying this, in fact. I can hear the 4-cylinder really working now. It's dropped back to 3rd again. I can hear my phone rattling about in this. It's really annoying me. I will say one thing, that steering that was lightish on that country road is probably a little bit too light. Although having said that, it's electric power steering, which means there is no actual road feel. Any road feel you think you can feel is simulated. Now let's see what it's like on the highway. Now we're at 110. So a few things I want to point out. First, the cruise control is not smart cruise control, but there is lane control, and that's active, steers you in the middle of the lane, and there's also blind spot monitor. I also want to mention that this seat I personally don't find very comfortable. I just can't find the right spot. Now that we've slowed down, I want to mention the steering wheel, which is nicely laid out. And in typical Jeep and Chrysler fashion, there's little buttons on the back of the steering wheel for up and down for channel, up and down for volume. And then in the middle is a mute button on the volume side and a mode button on the switching up and down side. It is one of my pet hates because it's so difficult to use. The looks are quite nice. The front is forceful without being too aggressive. The rear is smart and on this model has a manual tailgate. We're now entering the North Connects tunnel, so you'll be able to see what this looks like at night. And I think this looks quite nice at night. And one thing I do like is the steering wheel is backlit. The space in the back seat is not too bad. Remember, this is just a small SUV. And the other thing worth mentioning is there's a sunroof, which isn't standard in this model. Oh, this is so pretty. You might just be able to pick up. This is blue with sparkly lights. They've made this tunnel have different features every little while so that you don't, in such a long tunnel, get mesmerized by the same lights, the rhythmic lights and the rhythmic lines. You'll notice sound in the cabin is reasonably good. That one, some of that rough bitumen that Australia is really fond of, it was quite loud. I think the Compass is a good all-round performer. As always, when you buy a car, make sure you Google faults, recalls, complaints and so forth, just to see what sort of record that car or that car company has. Fiat Chrysler's had a few problems in that respect, and in order to fix their customer service and fix their slightly tatty reputation, they've made a few changes. So there's now a 5-year warranty with all Fiat Chrysler cars. Plus, Jeep has lifetime roadside assist, but only if you get it serviced at a Fiat Chrysler dealer. But all the essentials are there. Automatic lights, although they're halogen, and automatic wipers. This is up against some of the Koreans, Hyundai and Kia, but also the Japanese. So it's really going to have to pull its socks up on the reliability front. As always, if you've liked the film, hit like, leave a comment, but most of all, hit the button just there to subscribe.